What's up, YouTube? This is B-Boy Torque 1990, and this here is going to be my deck profile on the Dragonic Blademaster Overlord Blaze deck. Sorry, guys, I haven't made any videos in a while because, one, I've been doing school. Two, I have been doing MMA training, which I'm no longer training anymore because of school has been taken over, and I just canceled my membership to American Top Team. It's very sad, but someday I'll come back to it, so right now, I just got to focus on school. Third, I went to SuperCon. Fourth, this phone I'm using now to record is actually my new replacement. Before the old one got water damage because of Summerfest. If you're my Florida subscribers, like the foam got inside the phone and just messed it up. So I have it replaced, and other more personal stuff I will not get in detail with. Now onto the deck profile. So my starter is going to be Dragon Knight Sadeg. Reason I like this starter over the other one because the other one is more on the Blaze version. So if you have like Dragonic Blademaster and a different grade 3, I mean it's fine, but it's not like gonna work with this one how I built it. And with him, he can chain more retiring because, one, if he saw someone retire, put him in the soul, something else your opponent chooses to retire. He also combos well with Denial Griffin because if Denial Griffin retires someone, he put him in the soul, your opponent chooses someone to retire, so they already lost 2 of their rear guards. And if you have a Bellog in hand, that's 3 rear guards gone already from your opponent's turn. So that's why this starter is very amazing. Now onto the grade 3s. This is Blademaster, so of course you play 4 Dragonic Blademasters, and these are all the SP this is the SPs from GB set 1. Is it 1 or 2? Yeah, GB set 1. Yeah, this is the SPs. So yeah, he's the main boss you always want to ride on. And his GB2 is the fact that it's basically before the keyword Blaze came on. But basically if he attacks, if you have more rear guards than your opponent, he gains 5k in a crit. That's 1. And 2, his Strider skill is whenever something strides on him, you counterblast 1 and retire 1. So it's really good to play. But it's if you have a good setup, because sometimes when I play this, it's like sometimes I don't get the right setups or enough counterblast to pull it off. So that's why I don't use this effect too often. But once I do, I can it's gonna bring off the chain of effects to retire. And then I play 4 Dragonic Overlord the Legend because his GB2 is he basically becomes a stride. Yeah, he basically becomes like a stride. And he's also good for like searching flame dragons, because if you don't have Dragonic Blademaster, you ride over him, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, check the top 5, any number flame dragon, put it in your hand, so you get your perfect guards, the Dragonic Blademaster, or any other means of units that are flame dragons. So that's the grade 3. And I also use him as Strider material. And he's also good for the Overlord, the Ace combo. Now onto grade 2s. So my grade 2s are a bit different than probably some others. Even my friend Brian, who plays his deck also in Team Ubermensch, so check him out. So obviously you have to play 4 Radiant Dragons because I'm telling you, this grade 2 is freaking amazing once you call him, because when you call him, you just counterblast 1 and soul blast 1. Okay, cost is not too bad. But if you have Dragonic Blademaster, which you normally should be on, you can retire 1 of your grade 2, anyone that's grade 1 or less, your opponent's grade 1 or less units, and he will gain, so he's already 11k. Now, here's where things get very, very disgusting, because if your Vanguard is blazing, he will gain 2k for each of your opponent's open rear guard circles. So if your opponent has 5 open rearguard circles, he will become 21k by himself. And if you have a booster behind him, like Nadim, is it? The grade 1 that becomes 11k booster and counter charges. Him combined with that, you get a 32k column. And add triggers to that, he's gonna hit huge numbers. You need to play him at 4. Another 4 I also play is 4 Twilight Arrows. Well, reason I actually like him, this Amber clone, because 1, I get rid of my opponent's grade 2s or less, so I pretty much can get rid of my opponent's like annoying monsters. Like for Oracle Think Tank, it would be Silent Tom. For Deep Police, it will be Laurel. For Aqua Force, it's Tidal Assault, etc., etc. He's actually really good. Like when I played him, he synergizes very well, especially if I did behind him with Nadim. Well, I'll just explain it. The one I just said before about he's gonna be very useful. So I mean, honestly, he's got potential. Don't sleep on him because he's a good Amber clone, and I can tell you this much: he puts in work. And then I play 3 Dragon Knight Nadim. This one is he gives Blaze, so that's good. He has a Blaze keyword, and like when he attacks, and my Vanguard's blazing, he's gonna become 1100. And if he hits, I countercharge. So it's very useful since this deck does counterblast a lot. So if I countercharge with it, I can bring off more attacks and combos. Especially for the fact I have Dragonic Blade, especially the fact that my PGs won't be enough, and the Kim is also good. But I think it's good to have extra just in case. So that goes for my grade 2s. Now for my grade 1s. Obviously, 4 Unfit Perfect Guards, so it's not much to say. 4 Stride Enablers. Yes, this one's signed. It's simple. Don't need to say much. Searches out Kagero Blademaster if you summon him. 4 Dragon Knight Nadels. There you go. That's the name. Nadel. He's the one. He is the grade 1 MVP. He's MVP. Reason being because he has the Blaze keyword. That's 1. 2. If anything is retired, if I have Dragonic Blademaster, he becomes the 11k booster and countercharge. So if you have multiples of him out, you countercharge 3 and they will all become 11. So you could pretty much hit big numbers with Nadel. And 2 Bellogs, because if he's a GB1, if he guards, if it doesn't hit, retire any of my opponent's resting units. So like I said, he's the same thing as, he's just a grade 1 of the Amber clone. It's just now he's just a hand trap, or well, in a sense like that, just as a guard. So I get rid of OTTs, Silent Tom, Deep Police, Laurel, Aqua Force, Tidal Assault. I'm not sure what's more important in the Paladins. I think for Link Jokers, I believe Arrestor. Messiahs, I think Arrestor. Anyways, so yeah, this is my grade 1s. Now on to triggers. It's pretty standard. 4 Genet crits, this just gives me the 5 Dragonic Blademaster, put him in the soul, draw a card, gain 5k, and I play 8 crits. I wish I could play 8 of them, but that's be too stupid. So 8 crits, 4 draws, 4 heals. That's pretty standard. So that goes for my main deck, and now to my extra deck. I play 1 Vortex Desire because his skill is actually helpful and is a good first stride, because I'll flip one of Titans so I can begin off my Titan combos when it's time. And they're pretty much gonna block. Even if they block him, I flip. They give me a good setup. But if he does hit, I get to retire my opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards. Sorry, that's my someone's like watching some videos. Next, 4 Titans. If you're not playing 4 Titans, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Anyways, 4 Titans. Reason being because you just counterblast one and flip up anything. So if one is already flipped up, use this Titan to flip up another, and you just retire as many Titans as you have face up. So I retired two of my opponent's rear guards, and put this on top of Kagero Blademaster. That's already 3, and if you have him on the field, that's 4 to retire, and use Radiant Dragon. That's gonna be 5. This guy has combos for days, like no question about it. And also, he has the Blaze keyword. He has Blaze. That's insane. And when he is blazing, he gains a crit. So if you're gonna push, imagine like pushing for game or giving your opponents a lot of putting pressure, this guy is your man. I guarantee you that. Next, I play 2, the Ace. It's just mostly like when it's kind of not a desperation mode, but it's more like it could be a finisher, or just if I have more Overlords in hand, just use him and pay the Overlords as cost. This is only a 2 off. It's not like nothing more or nothing less. It's really good though, because I have won with this guy before. Like my opponent couldn't like handle it, so that's more I could say. 4 Novels, because this is the game finisher right here. If they avoided this once, I'll bring it out again. But I may change it to just playing 2 and put like a couple more G Guardians, or another, like 1 G Guardian and 1 other stride. I'm not sure which one. Maybe Mustafa, or possibly a Root Flare. So, but still, his effect is insane, because 1, it's just 1 counterblast, and you just Persona Flip. That's one thing. 2, if he attacks, if your opponent cannot call grade 1s, and if he's at grade end of that's 5 damage, the trigger effects are not gonna do crap. So literally, if you heal 6, don't even think about it. It's negated. You lost. So this novella is really good. But so far though, it's helping me a lot. 1 Sea Breeze, because it's Sea Breeze. If your opponent's gonna try to play the grade 2 game on you, you just Sea Breeze them. Now that's my main strides. Now the G Guardians, I play 1 Azel Orb Dragon because my opponent, most of the time I see my opponent's gonna have 4 or less rear guards, so just bring them out. 2 Denial Griffins, because he's the one that just destroys the attacking rear guards. Combo it with the dog, it's gone. So really amazing. And 1 Defeat Flare, because of the Overlord, basically. And plus he recycles the grade 3 Flame Dragons for my drops I'm put in my deck. So as long as my Vanguard has an Overlord in name, so that's the downside, but I think it makes sense, because I do play Overlord, the grade 3. So I barely use him, so I might take him out and put like a 3rd Defeat Denial Griffin, and replace 2 Novels for 1 Mustafa and 1 other Azel Orb, or probably the 2 Root Flares. So this is my Kagero deck profile. So there might be more deck profiles coming soon. Just gonna put some work on them, and need to get a few more cards, because I do have Chrono Fang, and I'm gonna do that deck profile. So keep it live. So this is B-Boy Torek 1990 saying deuces.